ProPublica's article on Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas secretly accepting vacations and gifts from billionaire Republican donor Harlan Crow was a bombshell. Harlan Crow also gave $500,000 to the Tea Party, founded by, a Tea Party group that was founded by Ginny Thomas. And he also paid her $120,000 salary.
This was hundreds of thousands of dollars on fantastic yachts and private jets and island hopping. By the way, the name Harlan Crow, doesn't that just sound like some hillbilly villain that's gonna be on the Dukes of Hazzard this Friday at 9 o'clock? Harlan Crow's coming into Hazard. He's gonna try to cause all kind of corruption and the boys are gonna have to stop him.
Well, that would be true. Do you know what he collects? Do you know what kind of memorabilia he collects? Nazi stuff.
Oh,
That's right.
Is that true? He collects Nazi memorabilia?
Oh, he's got a signature thing by Hitler or something.
Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what was revealed in that piece, other than the fact that Justice Thomas prefers Walmart parking lots to actual beaches.
Yeah, he's a real man of the people, isn't he? Really, the problem is that he didn't declare these things. And so what it looks like, and I don't know if this is the case or not, is that he's hiding something. And granted, this particular millionaire hasn't had a case up in front of the Supreme Court, but lots of his buddies have. And guess what? Those buddies are on the yacht too. They're all on the yacht. They're all at this private retreat. And it could just be people hanging out and having a good time. Or it could be the billionaire has purchased Clarence Thomas, or that he's bringing his billionaire buddies onto the yacht so they can purchase Clarence Thomas. And when Clarence Thomas isn't forthright about this stuff, it creates a huge question mark. One of many question marks that we're already dealing with this seemingly very compromised Supreme Court justice.
So here's where I am most troubled, that we have a Supreme Court justice that is making decisions that affect our country, that affect our livelihoods, that affect lives. And right now, at this moment, specifically, women's lives. And when it comes to understanding what the law is and just what ethical and moral behavior would be for you, you can't make that distinction. You can't really figure out the little stuff, the small things. Then how do you go about making life decisions for me and others like me? He's making decisions for us, and he can't think about ethical behavior for himself.
Is it time to start policing the Supreme Court?
Yes. Growing up, I was taught to have so much respect for the Supreme Court, with the understanding that they were not subject to anything that would involve them having to take some sort of political position or worry about fundraising or any of that kind of stuff, that they were going to serve fairly and honestly. Clarence Thomas gets involved in scandalous behavior along with his wife every year. It's like Easter. It's so clear that we need to start considering expanding the court. There's the suggestion that you have a core group of justices, and then you have other justices who rotate on and off of the court after certain periods of time.
We should indeed expand the court. Where we are today, it has gone as far as it can go. It's been expanded before, and we should do it again. And when we think about this court and how tainted it is, then Democrats need to be thinking very seriously about how we talk about this election in 2024. And it should be to get to the number of senators required so that we have the votes in the Senate and in the House to move forward and expand this court, because we have the right message that demonstrates that the court needs to be expanded, but it cannot be expanded without the Senate growing and without getting the House. The thing that makes this so important at this moment is because we know that Mitch McConnell stole a seat, that he denied the president of the United States at the time, President Obama, from having his choice of a Supreme Court justice. He refused to see any of President Obama's candidates. He held it back because he said the people should get a chance to vote. And after he did that, he put Amy Coney Barrett in, he got her seated. So that just shows you really the power that he had and how he used it, and the reason that we should go ahead and expand this court, and we should talk about it proudly because they did it.
I think it doesn't matter if we expand the court or not if we don't have some kind of ethics rules, that because these folks clearly aren't capable of policing themselves. If this is just one example of one justice whom we've known for 30 some odd years is right. Imagine what Brett Kavanaugh's doing.
So why can't we impeach him? Why can't we impeach Thomas?
The thing about the Constitution is this: it can be amended. It can be amended. It's been amended many times before. This is a clear case. We need an amendment here.
When there starts to be a little bit of buzz about something like that, like we can do something about the Supreme Court. Oh, we can amend. We can do so. The Republicans will throw up drag queen story hour, 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 and you get distracted. Everyone starts debating drag queen story hour, and Clarence Thomas gets to roll on in his career and continue to do everything he wants. We only have so much capacity in our brains. Mary,
we can hold two ideas in our heads at once. Okay, I believe that we can.
My point is, we're asked to hold 18 ideas in our heads at once. It's not just two. I mean, I used drag queen story hour as an example. Remember, we've got debt ceiling, reproductive rights, book banning, immigration, gun violence, Carrie Lake, Lauren Boebert, Logan Roy. It's just on and on and on and on and on to deflect from the things that really matter, which, to Mary's point, they're much harder to accomplish.
What do you got there, Fennell?
The Constitution states that justices shall hold their office during good behavior. This means that justices hold office as long as they choose and can be only removed from office by impeachment. Someone was impeached in 1805.
Look how far you have to go back to see when it happened last. That tells
Republicans don't care about any of that. They don't care about any of that. They just do it. If this was a Democratic leaning or thinking or just a justice with good sense, they would have impeached him already.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Absolutely.
You know that.